When you're talking about pivot points at this point, we're talking about the Celtics having great engaged in trade talks involving Jaylen Brown. I feel like a trade is going to happen. I'm not saying we're at the point of no return. As much as it is, I think it's more so they've decided it's the path they're going down. There's been a lot of talk about Trey Murphy.
Yep.
There was reports weeks ago about the Pelicans having interest in Jaylen Brown. That's a lot different than the Giannis trade, right? Trey Murphy's not as good as Jaylen Brown. A lot of the sports books still have the Celtics as the favorite in the Eastern Conference next season. I'm assuming that's them assuming they're still going to have Jaylen Brown. What does that look like when they trade Jaylen Brown? If they trade Jaylen Brown, I don't know. Again, a lot of it'll come down to what they get back, but you're not negotiating from a position of desperation in terms of the roster you have right now. I'm assuming Jaylen Brown hasn't asked for a trade, right? Which hasn't happened. We don't know if it's happened yet.
I'm somebody who is talked about Brad Stevens being one of the best executives in the NBA because he is. But I think that this was one of his first major missteps of this whole thing. I think Jaylen Brown is too high profile a player, and again, to say that he's baggage or he's disgruntled or anything like that, I think would be harsh. But he's just too much of an odd character, I think, to play this game. If you're going to dangle Jaylen Brown that publicly in trade rumors, he has to be gone. You have to make the trade. The trade has to happen. I gotta keep Baylor Shireman, I gotta keep Hugo Gonzalez. Like, it sounds good in theory, but you realize you're setting yourself up potentially for a very messy situation if you don't get the deal done. Because now you're coming back, and instead of having conversations about Giannis, now it's about Trey Murphy.